Julien Alfred just ran the fastest 200 meters of her life. In Monaco, she reacted slower than every other sprinter in the field. Half the race was gone, and she was still behind. Then something happened in the final 50 meters that no one in that stadium expected. By the time she crossed the line, she had just done something only 2 women in history have ever done. This was not a normal 200-meter race. 3 of the fastest women in the world lined up at the same time on the same track in Monaco. Adaejah Hodge walked in as the world leader. Gabby Thomas walked in as the reigning Olympic champion. And Julien Alfred walked in as the woman who wanted both of their spots. Nobody in that stadium knew it yet, but they were about to watch one of the best 200-meter races in years. Let's talk about why this race had so much on the line before the gun even fired. Gabby Thomas had not run a Diamond League race in 2 years, 2 full years. Injuries kept her out of the biggest meets in the sport, but nobody forgot what she did back in 2024. At the Paris Olympics, Thomas beat Julien Alfred in the 200-meter final. Alfred took silver that night. Thomas took gold. So when both women lined up in Monaco, this was not just another race on the calendar. This was Alfred getting a shot at the woman who beat her on the biggest stage in the sport, and Thomas trying to prove she was still that same champion after 2 years away. Then there was Adaejah Hodge. She is only 20 years old, and her path to this race was not easy. Hodge served a 17-month suspension for a banned substance when she was still a teenager. That kind of setback ends a lot of careers before they even start. Hodge did not let it end hers. She kept training, kept racing, and kept getting faster. Just last month, she ran 21:68 at the NCAA Championships in Eugene. That time made her the fastest woman in the world this year. She walked into Monaco holding the world lead, and she had every reason to believe she could defend it. So picture the start line. 3 women, 3 completely different stories. One race that would settle who was really the fastest right now. Add in a stacked supporting field with American depth behind them, and this was already being called one of the toughest 200-meter fields of the entire season before a single step was run. The gun fires, and right away something looks off for Julien Alfred. She is slow out of the blocks. Not a little slow, noticeably slow. As the field comes off the curve, Alfred is not out front. She is not even close to out front. Gabby Thomas is right there beside her, running strong, looking exactly like the sprinter who won Olympic gold 2 years earlier. If you had frozen the race at 150 meters and asked anyone in that stadium to pick a winner, almost every hand would have pointed at Thomas. But a 200-meter race is not decided at 150 meters. It is decided at the finish line, and that is exactly where everything flipped. In the final 50 meters, Julien Alfred turned into a completely different runner. She closed the gap in a way that looked almost impossible from where she was standing seconds earlier. Thomas could not hold her off. Hodge, closing hard from the outside, could not catch her either. Alfred blew past both of them in that last stretch and crossed the line first, and it was not close by the time she got there. Now here is where the number matters. Julien Alfred ran 21.51 seconds. That single time did 3 things at once. It gave her a personal best by a wide margin. It set a new national record for St. Lucia, and it made her the new world leader in the 200 meters for 2026, taking that title away from Hodge just weeks after Hodge had earned it in Eugene. But the real story here is bigger than one race result. That 21:51 makes Julien Alfred the 3rd fastest woman in the history of the 200 meters. Only 2 women have ever run faster than that in the entire history of the event. Florence Griffith Joyner set the world record back in 1988, and that mark has stood for decades without anyone coming close. Shericka Jackson is the only other woman who has ever run quicker than what Alfred just produced in Monaco. Think about what that actually means. Every woman who has ever lined up for a 200-meter final at every Olympics and every World Championship in history, and Julien Alfred just ran faster than every single one of them except 2. She did not even know it right away. As she crossed the line, she was not sure exactly how fast the race had gone. It was only when she turned around and looked up at the clock that it hit her. The number did not feel real at first, and once it did, she reacted the same way she did after winning Olympic gold in the 100 meters. She has talked before about how a slow reaction off the blocks does not decide a race. How you finish decides a race. Monaco proved that point better than any other performance in her career, and it happened in front of a stadium that had no idea it was watching history until the clock stopped. Think about how rare this actually is. Griffith Joyner's world record has survived for almost 4 decades through generations of sprinters who trained harder, ran on faster tracks. Only one woman broke into that tier below her in all that time. Now Julien Alfred has done it too, on a random Friday night in Monaco. After a start that had her looking beatable for the first half of the race, Adaejah Hodge did not fade quietly after losing the lead. She fought back hard in that final stretch and managed to edge past Gabby Thomas to grab second place in 21.76. For a 20-year-old who is still rebuilding her career after a lengthy suspension, running 21.76 against this kind of field is a massive result on its own. She lost the world lead she had held for barely a few weeks, but she proved beyond doubt that she belongs in races like this one, against athletes twice her experience. 84 against the 2 fastest women in the world this season tells you her speed never actually left her. She just needed the races back, and Monaco was proof that the version of Thomas Paris is still in there. Julien Alfred is already the reigning Olympic 100-meter champion. She is not just a 200-meter specialist trying to catch up to the best. She is one of the fastest women on the planet over both sprint distances, and Monaco just proved she might be the best pure sprinter in the world right now, full stop. Winning the 100 at the Olympics is one kind of statement. Running the 3rd fastest 200 meters in history is a completely different kind of statement. Doing both puts her in a category most sprinters never reach in an entire career. This also changes the picture for the rest of the season. Kenya's Emmanuel Wanyonyi broke a world record in the 1,000 meters that had stood for almost 27 years. Multiple other athletes hit lifetime bests and meeting records in the same session. Julien Alfred's 200 meters happened to be the headline of a night that track fans will be talking about for a long time. Julien Alfred reacted slowly off the blocks. She was behind Gabby Thomas coming off the curve, in a race everyone expected to be close from start to finish. Nobody in that stadium expected what came next. In the final 50 meters, she found a gear that most sprinters never reach in their entire careers, ran down both of her rivals, and crossed the line in 21.51 seconds. That time is now the fastest 200 meters run by anyone in the world this year, and it places her name next to only 2 other women in the complete history of the event. Julien Alfred did not just win a race in Monaco. She took the world lead away from Adaejah Hodge. She beat the woman who denied her Olympic gold in Paris, and she moved herself into the top 3 of all time with a single run. So can anyone actually catch Julien Alfred before this season ends? Or did she just run the fastest 200 meters anyone will see in 2026?